Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of Midlife Awakening with Natasha. It's so great to have you all with me again, and we're already up to episode 4, so that's just fantastic. So as I said last week, I'm diving into a topic that is very important to me. It resonates with me. It's just a big part of who I am. I probably don't share it with a lot of people because, I used to care what people think about me, but now I don't care. So I'm wanting to share this all with everybody because it just lifts me up, and I just get so many amazing messages. So spirituality, and a connection with loved ones that have parted. I'm not going to say I'm a medium and I can sit here and have a conversation with them or anything like that, but I do get a lot of signs and signals and stuff. So I sort of just want to go through a few of my personal ones and just tell you about a couple of experiences that I've had, and just showing you like a side to me, and it is such a big part of me that sharing it with you guys really excites me. So and as I said, talking about it this weekend just feels all the more special. We had a big family extended Christmas last night. So my husband's side of the family, so we all get together once a year just before Christmas. The extended family all gets together just to get together and celebrate. So that took place last night. We all had a fantastic time. And it was just really special and so great to have everybody together. So for me, I would say that I was lucky. I didn't lose my first grandparent until I was 28 years of age. And that was my granddad, so my mum's dad. It was very hard. Him and my nana were an amazing couple, and my nana cared so much for him, and it was very hard because it was the first loss, and it was heartbreaking. So he went downhill right at the end and ended up at the hospital. All family came to be around him. I was trying to still go to work and do everything and then go and see him when I could after work and everything. So this particular morning, though, I was getting ready for work, and I got the call that he had passed away. So I just drove straight to the hospital. Everyone was there, obviously very upset. And I did take the opportunity just to spend a moment just with him and just held his hand. It was still warm, and just say thank you for everything that he's ever done for me, and that I just really appreciated everything that he's ever done. So and I guess I sort of have like a sign or a symbol or something for each of my loved ones that's passed away. It's obviously something that's always been there, but it's like when they pass away, I just see a certain thing and I go, oh my God, that's you. And it just feels very like all that more special. So for me, the first time I seen, how there's clouds and the sun's hitting the clouds from behind and you just see those beaming rays of light. For me, that's my granddad. When I see that, I think of my granddad, and I see it quite often. So, and when they're amazing, it just feels like all so much stronger. So, and probably another significant thing that happened with granddad, obviously because he was the first grandparent I'd lost. I guess I was worried. Was he okay? Where is he? Like, what's going on? And no word of a lie, I don't dream that much. It's not something that happens to me very often. But this particular night, I had this dream, and it was basically Granddad came to me in his healthiest form in the time that I knew him. And he literally just told me that I'm okay, I'm fine, everything's good, I'm really happy, and, I'm with you guys all the time. And I haven't worried about it a day since then, because that was just so touching. And even if I do have a dream, I don't remember it very well, but I woke up and I remembered that one so well. Like, it was just like it had happened. Like, I felt it. Like, it was amazing. So yeah, so that was really, really special to me. Very special. So I've also lost my grandfather. Tell you a bit about my grandfather. He was just the Aussiest larricoon you could have ever come across. He said it how it was. He done what he wanted. He probably was very arrogant when it came to my grandma. She was very pig-headed, but we all laughed it off. but but he was just like, he'd walk around in like bib and braces. He had a bananas in pajamas, a vest, and he used to play the accordion and he played so much stuff, the harmonica and everything. And at one stage he had it all like tacked up to him, and he'd go busking and he'd play all these things and toot horns, and yeah, that was the sort of person he was. He was just very out there, but yeah, that's what we loved about him. And yeah, whenever you saw him, he'd oh, my eldest granddaughter, and he'd come and give me a big hug, and like, it was always really nice to see him. I remember probably about a year before he passed, I think he had like a bad fall or something. He ended up at the hospital, and I spent quite a bit of time there, just like sitting with him and chatting and stuff, and like, he told me heaps of stuff, like past stuff, and like when he was younger, and everything like that. And one thing he said to me, and like, I'm talking like 7 years ago, he said to me back then, he said, "You'll never make any money working for somebody else." And at the time, I just brushed it off. I was happy where I was, so it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. But now, with everything that's happened, it just makes so much more sense. But yeah, it was so special to spend that time with him. And then obviously after that he had to go into a home because, he was having falls and stuff, and my grandma just, wasn't physically up to looking after him, and that is fair enough. So he was 80 when he passed away. So that day was, well, it was over a couple of days, but I remember I woke up one day, because I said to my grandma, I'm like, call me about anything, whatever it is, just please let me know. We want to be there for him, So she'd sort of called and advised that he'd been taken off his medication and everything, and yeah, that they couldn't give them a time or anything. So I don't know, there was just this one particular day that I woke up and I just had this biggest pull in my body, and like, I was working and everything, but I said to my husband, I'm sorry, I have to go and see grandfather. I said, I don't know what it is. I said, I just feel something's not right. And I got in there, and no, he wasn't very good. But I sort of sat with him for a bit, as long as I could, before I had to go to work. And I remember I got back to the car, and I literally just sat. I literally just sat my bum in the seat, and then my grandma called me and said, "Oh, hey, I've just had a call from the nursing home. They think that your grandfather's very close to the end." And I just went, I'm here. I'm already here. And then about 2 seconds after that, my dad was calling me, telling me, the same sort of thing. And so, yeah, so I was already there. So my dad got a call. He was at work too. So he came in, and yeah, I was already there. And he sort of said, how did you know? And I'm like, I don't know. I just had to pull, like, I just had to be there. And I ended up saying, I'm not going to work. I'm going to see this out to the end. I wanted to be there when he passed away. Like, obviously it wasn't quick. Like, I think in the end it was nearly 2 days, but we spent time in there talking. I know that I read to him. He was in and out of consciousness and stuff. And then obviously his breathing became rattly. And yeah, we sort of knew something was going to happen, and then someone said, oh, he's not going to make it through the night. But then we went to my dad's and I slept there for the night, and then we came back the next day and we were there for most of the day. My grandma and my auntie had stayed with him overnight, and I think they went home to have a shower and refresh and come back. And they basically got back and they were sitting outside talking with my dad and stuff, and I was in with grandfather, and then they said, oh, well, we need to move him, do something, so, you know. And I said, oh, no, that's fine, I can go out. And then I sort of went back in, and that's when I heard the big breath, and then he just stopped. And I freaked out. And I ran outside and I got my auntie because she hadn't seen him for ages. And I'm like, something's going on, something. And I said to Grandma, I said, he's going to take a really deep breath in a second. And I said, you're going to shoot yourself. And he did. He went again. And yeah, and then that was it. He passed on. The whole time, the whole family was so amazing, telling him that, you know, he's going back to be with his parents. He was an only child. So, I really do hope that, and I'm getting goosebumps right now when I'm talking about it, because I have a feeling that is where he is. He's up there with his parents looking down on all of us. But just something that, yeah, very hard for a lot of people. Not everybody can do it. But as I said, I'm a very spiritual person, and being there for that was something that I'm never going to forget my whole life. Don't regret it for a second. If you love someone, I believe if you love someone, you'll be there till the end. I know that there's a lot of people that can't do that, and I do understand, but for me personally, I needed to be there. And yeah. So it was quite a long time after grandfather passed away, and I didn't really have a sign for him. I wasn't really looking for a sign from him, and I'd organised for the family to get a photo shoot done up at One Tree Hill at Mullaney, and it was really special. And then, of course, on the day, it started to rain, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. But we went there, and it all turned out great. We got photos, and this amazing rainbow appeared. And it was it was there for most of the photos, but it was really strong when it was on my side of the family's photo shoot. Like when we got photos all together, and then we sort of broke off into our little family groups. And it was very strong, especially with my dad and everything. And it wasn't until I was sort of looking at it later, and my daughter said to me, oh, that's grandfather. And I'm like, what? And she goes, don't you remember the last song that was played at his funeral? It was Over the Rainbow. I'm getting goosebumps again. Yes, I'm getting goosebumps again. That's him. Thanks, grandfather, I know. Sorry. I know that's you. When I see a rainbow. So when I see a rainbow, that's my grandfather. Yeah. Yeah, that's very strong. Very strong. Sorry, I'll just take a sec. I knew this was going to be an emotional one. And after that, I decided to organise to have a reading with a lady called Charmaine Wilson, who's a psychic medium. I think that's her term. She won a competition in Australia and everything like that, and I'd been to a group one with an audience, but I really wanted to have a one-on-one. another great experience. So glad I did that. Grandfather was there within 2 seconds flat. She described him perfectly. She's like, oh my God, he's so funny. And then there was some stuff that she, like, you know, I know that they're like, I don't believe that everyone that says that they're psychics or medium are real, or maybe they have varying degrees, but I believe in her. One of the things that she said was that he really liked to play musical instruments, and that was him. Another thing was about reading to him when he was dying, which was something that I did. I read to him. There was just so many things, and it was so amazing. And to be honest, it was coming up to my operation, and she said, he's showing me your stomach and telling me that you're having an operation. And I went, yeah. And he said that he doesn't understand why you're having the operation, because you're already perfect the way that you are. And that really hit the feels. And now it's like, why didn't I listen? But anyway, it's another lesson learned in life. That's what we're all here for. So that was a real spin out too, but so worth it. It was so amazing. And also my granddad did come through with that. Not as strong as grandfather, but if you put granddad and grandfather side by side, my grandfather was way more boisterous and outgoing, so that made perfect sense to me that granddad didn't come through as much as grandfather did. But was just so touched and special to hear from both of them that day. That was just another amazing experience. So why this topic for this episode? As I said, we had a big extended family Christmas. Unfortunately, we lost my husband's grandma this year. Just such an amazing lady. Like, to be honest, she is one of the most amazing ladies I've ever known. I admired her so much, and I miss her so much, but I still know she's there in spirit, and that really keeps me going. Like, we didn't see her all the time. We only got together a couple of times a year, but when you did see her, she made you feel like you were special, and that she just saw you yesterday and she wanted to know everything and give you a hug and hold your hand, and she just had that amazing quality about her that she could do that with anyone that she was talking to, and that's what really made her so special. So as you can imagine, her absence yesterday was hard, but I believe the family done an amazing job honouring the Vandal Christmas like she wanted to. But anyway, so I wanted to tell a bit about her. I wanted to tell you what sort of a person she was and a bit of the life that she had. Obviously, having her funeral, I did discover a lot about her that I didn't know, but that was just so amazing to take in. So I want to share that with you. So she was born in 1928, so she passed away when she was 95 years old. She literally just had her 95th birthday within a couple of weeks of her passing away. And to be honest, I personally wouldn't have called it. Like, she seemed so well, so happy, seemed to be doing well. And so, yeah, it was a big shock. So when she was born, she's actually a twin, but unfortunately her twin did not make it. As you can imagine, being born in 1928, the medical wasn't as good as it is now. So when Grandma was born, she only weighed 2 pounds, which in itself is just so tiny. Her parents kept her in a shoebox beside the fire to keep her warm. And she rose up and kept getting stronger. She left school when she was 11 to come home and help her mum run the household and everything like that. She had a very big family. At this stage, she was overseas, Holland, I believe. Please, I might be wrong, but it was over there. In 1949, World War II broke out, and her dad actually dug, this is such an amazing story, her dad dug a Model T Ford underground so that they could live in it while the fighting was taking place. And it was so lucky that they did, because when they came out, all their house was shot up and very damaged from the fighting. So yeah, and they even ended up taking in their neighbours as well. So they ended up with like 16 people underground in this car, which is just mind-boggling, and it must have been such a scary time. She met Granddad when she was just 17. He then had to go off to war, but that didn't stop it, the love affair, when he got back. They married in 1952, and then in 1953, they came to Australia. So Grandma and Granddad raised 5 children. They also have 11 grandchildren, and at the time of her funeral, and I do believe that it has grown since then, 17 great grandchildren. Also in her time, you just wouldn't read about it, but she actually had a brain tumor at one stage. She had to have, I believe it was a triple bypass, but I'm not 100% sure, but a very serious operation on her heart. And just you'd go and see her in the hospital bed, wanting to help her and make sure she was okay, but somehow she had this ability to reverse it, and she was just so optimistic and so caring that she'd just make you feel better after you left. It's like you needed the help, not her, if you know what I mean. That's just one of her amazing things that she can do. That's just who she is, and who she will always be. Just amazing. So after my husband's grandma passed away, I just kept thinking about this statue that I'd always seen at her house. It just, and with everything in the house, this one statue would just always stand out to me, and I loved it. It just looked amazing. And anyway, so after she passed away, I'm like, oh, who got this statue? Can someone send me a photo, because I just keep thinking about it. So anyway, my husband's auntie sent me a picture. She said that she had it, and it was just like, oh yes, and I sort of said to myself then, okay, white dove, white feather, that's you, Grandma. Whenever you're around or whatever, if you need to talk to me, fill me in on something, that's our thing. So I can honestly say I have had a few since she's passed away. Probably the most impactful one was recently. There was some stuff happening leading up to the dinner, and I was questioning some things and everything like that, and I literally said in my head, I'm going to do this for you, Grandma. I'm going to do this for you. And obviously when I get a feather, I like to keep them. So I put it under my dash mat. Yeah. And I'm an aircon freak. I had my windows up, my aircon was blaring, and there's no way that aircon's blowing up under the mat. Next minute, the biggest white feather I possessed flew out from under the mat, curled around, and landed at my feet. And I was like, I got you. I'm going to do this for you. And I did. Because life's too short. Life is too short. And I can honestly say that, like I've put some, like obviously since I've been doing this podcast, it's really made me look at some things and get excited about my topics and just put different things out into the universe. And the things that the universe is giving back to me, I'm just so grateful, so humble, so everything. Thank you, universe. This is amazing. Thank you. And, you know, as I've told you before, I'm big on my tarot cards and stuff. You know, just the messages that have been coming through from that and everything, it's just, this is amazing. Like, you know, like just being so busy and everything, I've struggled to get to see people that I really want to see. But today I went and saw my nana, and both my girls said, oh, we want to come too. And it was just so special, very special, because I haven't seen her in a long time. But today I was just like, it's happening today. Like, I'm sick of putting other stuff first. This is what I'm doing. Like it or lump it. But yeah, and I understand that there's people out there that, you know, are still struggling with some things. But I think the most important thing is, and I've had to learn it the hard way, is don't hold on to your anger. Don't hold on to your hate. Because at the end of the day, it's only going to hurt you. You're not hurting me. Because I'm at a place now where I see your hate, I see your anger, I see your games, and I'm just sitting back and I'm letting it play out. The people that are meant to be in my life, and that's something I put in the universe last week, the Louise Hay quote about the people that are meant to be in your life come into your life at the right moment, and at the perfect time they leave, and I lovingly let go. There were some people I let go on the weekend. It's a constant, ever-changing thing. But I feel with the letting go of some people, you're getting the right people in return. And that's so much better. It's worth so much more. My weekend's been amazing. I'm really enjoying spending time with my little family. I can't believe how much I missed it. Yeah, and just, but us all being individual, but coming together when we need to. So coming together for our dinners and doing stuff. And then this afternoon, for example, I'm doing my podcast. My husband is watching some TV shows about cars, just something different. My eldest daughter has gone to the gym, and my youngest daughter is redecorating her room. So, you know, come together when you need to, have your own time when you need to, but you need to have your own time. It's really important. Definitely really important. And for me, as I said, I've been right in the middle of holding on to hate and holding on to anger and getting angry at everybody at the drop of a hat. I've been there. And I would even say sometimes I might get there still a bit, but I'm getting better at pulling myself up before something happens. Before I'll say something I regret. You know, in life, it's just easier just to stay on your own path and let others be the way they want to be. You can't change them. You can't change anybody, and you can't force people to do things that they don't want to do. You need to embrace their individuality, and you need to let them grow in their own direction. And if that direction is not the same as you and your values, that's on you. Don't blame that on the other person. They need to do what's right for them, and then you need to do what's right for you. That's how it all works. And I think that's a fair way to live. I don't want to force anybody. I find that if I force somebody to do something that they don't want to do, their reaction's worse than the problem in the first place. So just work with people. Find a reasonable common ground. Be kind and listen and understand. Of course, not everyone is the same. Not everyone is just black and white, and because someone's done this at a certain age, you should have done this at a certain age. People grow and evolve in their own time. It's taken me to the age of 39. I'm a slow learner. I do apologise. But I'm so grateful to be here now. Imagine if I'd gone to the end of my life and didn't get to this stage. So, midlife awakening is better than a late life awakening. Oh, yes. So I am so happy to be here now. As I said, the universe is just providing me with so many amazing things, and I'm so grateful for it. Does get a little bit overwhelming sometimes, but it's just like, okay, take a deep breath. You can do this. And I can do this. I can. I have love and support from others, and I love and support myself. You know? My husband actually sent me a video during the week, and it made a lot of sense. I think it was from the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And like it was saying that, like, there's this big theory about people doing a job that they love, and that's how they're going to be happy making money. But then this guy was sort of flipping that and going, well, how about you just work hard in a good paying job, and then you could buy these assets and do these things that make you happy, like that will make you happy. And I get that. And I'm not saying do a job that you absolutely hate. I believe you need to find a happy medium. But sometimes people don't get to that stage where they can find, the job of their dreams or something. But if they're doing a job and they're getting paid, and that they can, and it helps them either with their hobby or, stuff like that to keep them, and then that's what fills their cup up a lot, then that's the most important thing. As long as they're getting their cup filled up at some stage, that's the important thing. Because I can honestly tell you, it's probably not a secret, but maybe it is. I don't particularly like washing cars all the time. And that's what I do. I wash cars, I do paperwork, I answer phones, I run around and get parts. Is that my dream job? I'm sorry, hubby, but it's not my dream job. But I do get to be with you. So that's what makes it so. And then we make our money, and then we do stuff that makes us happy. Like filming a podcast in a studio. Filling my cup up, see? That's what I'm doing. And that's what's the most important. That's what you need to do. You need to do that. You've got to do what's right for you. It's not accepting something really bad, not saying to do that. But, be happy in yourself, and just go out there. Just be yourself. Don't squash yourself. Don't squash yourself to fit into other people's boxes, is what I'm trying to say. Don't do that, because that's not going to get you anywhere. You're always going to be looking over your shoulder, wondering if you're doing the right thing and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're confident in yourself, you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, it's all about, going with the flow. I drew a couple of cards this week about going with the flow. And, So that was some signs for me that I just had to let go of what was unfolding and just go with the flow. And that's what I did. And things worked out surprisingly well. Sometimes you just have to surrender, which I really had to do this week. I had to do it a couple of times. And there was a particular time I literally had to hand my phone to somebody else and just go outside and take a few deep breaths and bring myself back to who I want to be, and not a very reactive person, because that's not who I want to be. Because when I turn into that person, then if I have an argument with someone, it'll wipe me out for like a week, because my body just hates it. My body hates arguing. So, yeah. That's just how it rolls around here. So anyway, next week will be episode 5. 5 is my favourite number, so I'll have to think of a very special topic for it. I really don't know at the moment. I have no ideas, but I'm sure as soon as I walk out the door here, something will come to me, and then I'll just be like ball rolling, and I'll be writing stuff down like there's no tomorrow. But I really hope that you did enjoy today's episode. Obviously I was really that was a really deep topic for me, as you could tell. My emotions were up and down, but always a very special topic, and always very close to my heart. So I think we might leave it there, guys. So I look very forward to seeing you guys again next week. Have a great week. Bye.